Hello YouTube, this is Samaris Hunter, and I am bringing you my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Bear in mind, this is not the ritual version, so you will not find Blue Eyes Chaos Max in this, although the extra deck is pretty much the same. The reason why I created this deck profile is because the Legendary Collection Kaiba came out. So I figured, why not? I already have most of the cards. I just have to fill in the blanks utilizing the cards I got from the pack, and I got some decent ones. So, enough of that. Let's just get started with, of course, the Kaiba approved 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. No point in utilizing any other kind than the movie version, because it's honestly my favorite artwork of them all. And there's no effect to it. It just says that it's a legendary dragon with that's a powerful engine of destruction. Virtually invincible, very few have faced this awesome creature and lived to tell the tale. Nice little bit of lore into this dragon, wouldn't you agree? So there's 3 of them. And of course, if you're running 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, then it's ever so prudent that you run 3 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Might need to adjust the camera because it's the cards you want to see, not my ugly face. There you are, there's a good picture of them. Its effect is that it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by revealing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. And you can only special summon it this way once per turn. This card name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and destroy it. However, it cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. So be careful when you use it. And it's really good because it counts as a Blue Eyes while on the field. So if you want to make, say, Blue Eyes Twin Burst, you can use 2 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragons to make it. It's really nice. And because I can, 2 Dragon Spirit of White. It's treated as a Blue Eyes card. This card is treated as a normal monster while in the hand or the graveyard. So utilizing... Now I don't use it, but if you wanted to, you can use Ancient Rules and you can pretty much summon this monster using its effect. It's treated as a normal monster in the hand. And Ancient Rules allows you to summon a normal monster from your hand that's level 7 or higher. Dragon Spirit of White is level 8. However, when this card is normal or special summoned, it gains its effect. You can target 1 spell or trap card the opponent controls and banish it. During either player's turn, if your opponent controls a monster, you can tribute Dragon Spirit of White and special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from the hand. It's a really neat card. I love its design. It's also worth mentioning that once the Legendary Collection Kaiba came out, a lot of cards' prices dropped. And it became a lot easier to get a hold of. Next I run 3 White Stone of Ancients. And this is probably the one you're going to use most often. It's also a level 1 tuner, which is very nice. And once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use the effect of the White Stone of Ancients once per turn. I will tell you this right now, I thought about running the Fang of Critias in this deck, but then I thought, nah. Instead, I'll save that for an extra special deck profile I have in mind. Bear in mind, it might take me a little while before I can get to it. But enough about that. Let's continue with the deck profile, shall we? With 1 White Stone of Ancient Legends. I would usually run 2, but this deck doesn't really call for 2. 1 just seems to work out nicely. It's also a tuner, and if it's sent to the graveyard, add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. There's enough cards in this deck that allows you to do that, so just one. Speaking of cards that got a reduction in price, run 3 Sages with the Eyes of Blue. I cannot tell if this is a boy or a girl, but given the muscle size, I'm going to assume guy. He's a level 1 tuner, and when his effect is that when this card is normal summon, you can add one level 1 light tuner monster from your deck to your hand, except Sage with the Eyes of Blue. You can discard this card, then target one effect monster you control and send it to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can only use the effect of Sage with the Eyes of Blue once per turn. This card is great because it allows you to add a White Stone of Ancients to your hand, which you can then discard if you so desire. Plus, his whole discarding Tributing effect works really nice too because it's free Blue Eyes. Who's going to say no to that? I run 2 Priestesses with the Eyes of Blue because she's hot, and why not? She's a level 1 tuner, and when a card or a card effect is activated that targets this card, you can send one effect monster you control to the graveyard and add up to 2 Blue Eyes monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. So Blue Eyes Alternative, White Dragon. My brain's not functioning right now. I apologize. So it allows you to add anything with Blue Eyes in its name, or it's constituted as a Blue Eyes monster. And you can add it to your hand. If this card is in the graveyard, target one Blue Eyes monster you control, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card from the grave. You can only use one Priestess with the Eyes of Blue effect per turn, and only once that turn. It's a shame you can only utilize one of them, but that's why I run 2. And for some reason, I feel like this wouldn't be a proper Blue Eyes deck if I didn't run at least one Maiden with the Eyes of Blue. To me, it feels like she brings the whole deck together. Don't ask me why. I can't give you a definitive answer. She's a level 1 tuner as well, and when this card is targeted for an attack, negate the attack, and if you do, change the battle position of this card. Special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. During either player's turn, when a card or effect that is activated that targets this card face up, special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use one Maiden or the Eyes of Blue effect once per turn, and only once that turn. If it's not obvious as to why I run her, it should be now. This one is new from the Kaiba collection, and that is the King of D. Doesn't make him sound gay at all. Yeah, let's get a better look at that. Look at that. He's playing a 3-headed guitar because why not make it harder on yourself? This card's name becomes Lord of D while on the field. When this card is normal summoned, discard one spell or trap card, add one Flute of the Summoning Dragon, one Melody of the Awakening Dragon, or Dragon Revival Rhapsody from your deck to your hand. Why not? Plus, there's plenty of spellcasters that you can discard. Plus, there's plenty of spells and traps that you can discard and utilize this effect for, so don't see why not. And lastly, I run 3 Goddesses of Sweet Revenge. To me, this card screams Kaiba. As much as the Blue Eyes also scream Kaiba, this does as well. Because most of his motivations throughout the entire series was revenge. Revenge on Pegasus, revenge on Yugi, revenge on Darts. All of it, revenge. Why not? Plus, I like her effect. It's also the only fairy in this deck. When you control no cards, and this is the only card in your hand, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, Discard this card and destroy as many cards as possible on your opponent controls. And special summon one monster from your deck. So basically, you have no monsters. This is the only monster in your hand. Your opponent attacks, toss it to the graveyard, blow up their entire field, and then summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. Ooh, Revenge is sweet with this card. And that's why I'm running 3. Your hand will empty fairly quickly with this deck. That's it for the monsters. On to the spells. I run 3. The Melody of the Awakening Dragon. Get a deal with that. Discard 1 card, add up to 2 Dragon-type monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. It's pretty self-explanatory. You pretty much get to add 2 Blue Eyes, 2 Blue Eyes alternative, or 1 of each. As it doesn't really work on any of the other monsters. Sorry. Next, I run 3 Trade-in, due to the fact that there's a high number of level 8 monsters. And this card, you pretty much toss a level 8 into the graveyard to draw 2 cards. No point in continuing that explanation. Because of all the dragons, it would seem most appropriate to run 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. Its effect is that you can target 1 level 7 or 8 dragon-type monster in the graveyard, special summon it. If a dragon-type monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, banish this card from your graveyard to save it. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to go into any more detail. Next, I run 2 Silver's Cry. I would run 3, but it's kind of cloggy. Target 1 dragon normal monster in the graveyard, special summon that target. However, you can only use 1 Silver's Cry per turn. Don't think I need to explain this one anymore either. 1 Terraforming. Okay, Terraforming, and it allows you to add a field spell from your deck to your hand. Which, no doubt, you will immediately activate afterwards. But wait, what is this field spell? That's weird. The field spell I would run for this deck would be a Mausoleum of White, but unfortunately I don't have any Mausoleums of White. I apologize for that. But that's what I would run for it. However, I find Dragon Ravine might be also a good choice. Next, I run 1 Dragon Shrine. I would run 2, but in my eyes, there's plenty of cards already there that allow you to toss to the graveyard, because this is essentially a foolish burial for dragons. You send 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard, then, if that monster in your graveyard is a dragon normal monster, you can send 1 or more dragon monsters from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 Dragon Shrine per turn. Yep, it allows you to send 2 dragons to the graveyard. Give me 1 second. Because I run the 3 Blue Eyes, it seems most appropriate to include at least 1 Polymerization. And 1 Soul Charge. Resurrect as many monsters as you want, so long as you have the room for it. However, you have to pay 1,000 life points for each. Because this deck pretty much has you toss cards in the graveyard, why not? And lastly, this one is also from the new Kaiba box. And that is 2 Dragon Revival Rhapsody. If you control a spellcaster monster, you can target up to 2 dragon monsters in your graveyard, including at least 1 normal monster, special summon them. Your opponent takes no damage that turn, and you can only activate 1 Dragon Revival Rhapsody per turn. It's pretty much a good resurrection card. It works nicely in combination with King of D. And that does it for my main deck. On to the extra deck. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And it takes 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons to build. At the end of the damage step, if this is the only face-up monster card you control, and this fusion summon card attacked, send 1 Blue Eyes fusion monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. Then it can attack again in a row. You can use this effect of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon up to twice per turn. During either player's turn, when a card or card effect activated will target a Blue Eyes monster you control, banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and destroy that card. So basically it has a good effect negation. It's a good effect negation, but I mostly run it for its triple attack effect. Now how do I trigger it? Well, that's easy. I sacrifice 2 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons. Yep. Enough said. And of course, 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst. You're only ever going to need 1. There's no point in running 2. It takes 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons to make it, and it can be either fusion summon or special summon by sending the above monsters you control to the graveyard. So basically, contact fusion. And it cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be destroyed by battle. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed by battle, it gets banished. It's perfect for getting rid of pesky monsters. Next I run 1. Now for Synchro monsters, I run 1 Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Again, the extra deck is pretty much the same as my Chaos Max Ritual deck. Takes 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner normal monsters. So Blue Eyes and any of the level 1 tuners in this deck. Discard a special summon. Dragon-type monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects until the end of the next turn. Once per turn during your standby phase, you can target 1 normal monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Perfect resurrection monster. 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragons. Here, it's kind of... I'm not sure if you can see that, but there it is. It takes 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner Blue Eyes monsters. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. Once per turn during either player's turn, when an effect of a card in the graveyard is activated, negate the activation. During either player's turn, you contribute the Synchro Summon card and special summon 1 light Dragon-type Synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except for Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, but it is destroyed at the end of the phase. So basically you can use it to get Azure Eyes. Now on for the Xyz monsters, I run 1 number 23, Lancelot, Dark Knight of the Underworld. Takes 2 level 8 monsters. Attack your opponents directly as long as it has Xyz material. If it inflicts battle damage, target 1 face-up monster the opponent controls, destroy it. And if during either player's turn, when a spell, trap card, or a monster effect is activated, attach 1 Xyz unit, negate the activation. Next I run number 35, Ravenous Tarantula. 2 level 10 monsters. All monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to the difference between your life points and your opponent's. While this card has Xyz material, each time your opponent special summons a monster, inflict 600 damage to the opponent. Once per turn, detach 1 Xyz units from this card. Destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with an attack less than or equal to this card. It's pretty much unique. I run number 38. Hope Harbinger Galactic Titanic Dragon. Yeah, okay, so I got the name wrong. Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Because, screw grammar. Takes 2 level 8 monsters, and once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell trap card is activated, you can negate the effect, and if you do, attach it to this card as Xyz material. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, detach one Xyz material from this card, change the attack target to this target, and perform damage calculation. If a face-up Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, target one face-up Xyz monster you control. It gains attack equal to one of those destroyed monsters' original attack. Not bad, really. Next, I run number 77, the Seven Sins. Takes 2 level 12 monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 10 or 11 Dark Xyz monster you control as Xyz material. If summoned this way, the following effect cannot be activated this turn. Once per turn, you can detach 2 Xyz materials from this card, banish as many special summon monsters your opponent controls as possible, and attach one of those banished monsters to this card as Xyz material. If this face-up card on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, detach one Xyz material from this card instead. I run next is number 84, Pain Gainer. It runs it's 2 level 11 monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 8, 9, or 10 Dark Xyz monster you control with 2 or more Xyz material as the Xyz material. This card gains defense equal to the combined ranks of all Xyz monsters you control times 200. While this card has Xyz material, each time your opponent activates a spell or trump card, inflicts 600 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. Once per turn, detach one Xyz material from this card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with defense less than or equal to its own. So it's pretty much like Ravenous Tarantula, only it affects spell and trap cards, and it's its defense that's the focus. Next, number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. It takes 3 level 9 monsters. However, it can also be Xyz summoned this card by using a Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster you control as Xyz material. It cannot be used as Xyz material for an Xyz summon. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can send 3 dragon type monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard. Your opponent then banishes 3 monsters from their deck. You can detach one Xyz material from this card. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. As for those Galaxy Eyes Xyz monsters, one Galaxy Eyes full armored Photon Dragon. This is by far my favorite of the Galaxy Eyes line. Look how beautiful that dragon is. Absolutely gorgeous. Takes 3 level 8 monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster you control as Xyz material. Except Galaxy Eyes full armor Photon Dragon. Once per turn, target up to 2 equipped cards equipped to this card, attach them to this card as Xyz material. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. So, pretty self-explanatory. And lastly, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. 2 level 8 monsters are needed. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Monsters you control cannot attack your opponent directly for the rest of this turn, except this card. Also take control of the targeted monster until the end of the phase. But, when all this effect is applied, it has its effects negated, its attack becomes 3000, and its name becomes Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. So it's not that bad a card. Alright, that does it for this deck profile. Minor update, the results of the poll came in and only one person voted, so therefore that person gets to see the Trickstar deck next. So look forward to me making a Trickstar deck profile. And like, comment, subscribe, but only if you want to. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to make you do something you don't want. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!